What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we are getting this engine in over here. I just wanted to give you a little note. So I had to separate this again because I put the flywheel on backwards, and those of you that are astute probably noticed that. So when you put the flex plate / flywheel on, make sure the side that pokes out a little bit is towards the transmission. I had it the opposite way, and it will fit the opposite way. I just want to let you guys know that. But we're getting set up to get this in here, and then I'll be able to film our proposed technique on how to get this front half of this Land Cruiser in the garage. So we'll be back. All right, guys, we're doing some sketchiness here. So I'm going to try to do this very slowly, and this in 4 low, so I can do it as slow as I can. Okay. Do you move the other one? There's another one on the other side. I thought I felt something. I could have, but I didn't want to destroy the tailgate of this thing. Good? God, dude, I love this thing. This should be enough, right?
Yeah, we still have room, but
yeah, this should be plenty. And then
we'll
let the air out of the tires so it levels it out. And dude, we'll be good. That works so well. I didn't even hit the gas on that 4Runner. I just put it in 4 low and just like took my foot off the brake. All right, that was pretty redneck, but it worked really well. Okay, so the heavy part is over, as you saw in our time lapse there, which I hope is okay. We had to move the camera at the end, so the lighting wasn't great, but I digress. We are officially in here under its own weight. I've got the transmission supported by the cross member. Only thing I need to do is put on one more motor mount bolt or nut on this side. I don't know where it is. I got to find it. And then we're ready to clean up some of this up. So I did some things here and there. I got some of the heater hoses where they need to go. This harness was routed back inside. And then that's pretty much all I've done up to this point. So making great progress. I think this is going to be done this weekend as long as there's no catastrophic issues, which let's hope there's not. Hopefully this is not foreshadowing for you. But I think, so to be honest, doing a tutorial for putting everything back together, in my opinion, is not really necessary. So when it comes to putting everything back in, you're literally just going to do everything in reverse that I did taking it out. So when you take an engine out yourself, you'll be able to realize, oh, I remember how to put it back together because, you know, I've taken it apart. So I've touched literally every part on this thing. So this is going to be more of just like an enjoyment of me throwing things back together versus like a tutorial step by step how to do this, because honestly I'm not going to follow the FSM. I'm just going to do what I feel is right. I'm not going to go in order. It's going to be very chaotic, but pretty much the exact same way you took it out is the way you're going to put it in. So for now, we're just going to enjoy me putting this back together and getting it started. You know, I don't think a time lapse is necessary, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to film me doing certain aspects and other ones I'm not. You know, this is what it is. So I'm kind of tutorialed out for the 80 series. It seems you guys like the more like random videos anyway, rather than the actual tutorials. I will still be doing tutorials for like the newer stuff that I'm doing. So we have axles to build on this still. We've got wiring to install. We've got a lot of stuff to do still. But let's just get it running first. Let's get this thing off-road again. Well, on-road first and then off-road. But yeah, so we're just gonna kind of go with the flow with the videos. The only reason I wanted to do like the heavy tutorial videos while doing a lot of this stuff is because I didn't see a lot of videos out there doing it. So I was like, all right, well, let's at least have how to take it apart and put it back together. Like the transfer case stuff you saw, I thought that was necessary. And obviously there's not a single video. I think I might have the only video on YouTube that shows step by step how to take the whole drivetrain out of the 80 series, which is why I wanted to do it in that format. But continuing on, I just want to have fun with the videos. I'm not here to teach people. I mean, if you ask me questions, I'll gladly make a video about it. But apart from that, I think you guys just enjoy watching me work and the process of the 80. So let's continue on. Let's get this thing running, guys. Let's get it running. It might not be today for you, but it'll be in this video. But let's get it running. Okay, let's start getting some of this back together. I'm sure a lot of this will be fast forwarded, but basically we're just putting stuff together now. Just mindlessly putting parts on. I've got a whole new low pressure system coming for this power steering fluid. Not the reservoir. Reservoir is going to be the same, I think, but at least for the low pressure line and cooler, I've got a kit coming from Wits End, but it's going to be a little while before that gets here. I wanted to do the power steering stuff before going too crazy with everything else because it's kind of hard to snake in and out the power steering stuff. I have a new high pressure power steering line that I already put on. I know I didn't show you guys. Final torque on this thing. This is the low pressure line, by the way, which I'm pretty sure still needs a new O-ring, but don't have one because I've got a new whole system coming. New to this vehicle, lines anyway. Power steering wrapped up. I'm just kind of looking over things that I'm going to need to do. All this is going to have to get cleaned up, I think, and thrown on correctly. Here's my main coil wire that needs to go in. I'm trying to do all the little hard stuff right now before I start putting in like the radiator and stuff like that, just because I don't want to have to take things back apart. I'm also going to have to get fluids at some point. So all of this needs to go in. I find it funny that this only has like one wire to it. This is definitely an electrical connector I need to look into replacing in the future, is the alternator, because it is very broken. I think I'll be replacing this alternator in the future because, like I stated before, it doesn't sound too great. It's covered up. So we also have these starter wires that need to run down towards the side and this little ground wire, which it's going to be interesting to get that down here. I also need to figure out how exactly this routes. Oh, I think it's right there that it routes actually. I see it. sees it. I think it routes over the top of all this stuff, maybe. There we go. Fuel line. We should do the fuel line right now for sure, because that's going to be a pain in the butt to do later. No doubt. It's actually a pain in the butt to do right now. Still. Should have waited before I put all the power steering stuff on. But oh well, here we are. This is definitely the more difficult side, so I figured I'd start from this side. Just less room to do everything. More stuff to remember where it went. You know, just normal working on cars things. So I don't think these are the new ones. Nah, they look pretty old. Hold on, let me get the new ones. Definitely should have did this fuel line before I put all the power steering stuff on. Note to self, if you're doing this, do the fuel line like first. Luckily this one's a soft line, so it's pretty easy to get started. One on the back side sucks. I'm really glad I'm finishing this when I am, because during the summer, this garage gets just unbearable. All right, guys, I'm just gonna keep working through this. I don't think you need to see every single step of the way. You know, you did take this apart after all if you're following this as a tutorial, so you should roughly know where everything goes. But essentially, I'm just gonna button up this side of the engine because this is just gonna take a while and there's stuff everywhere and it's not really a good position to film. So after I get this buttoned up, we'll go on to the other side where it's a little bit easier to see and film. But just know I'm putting in the ground wire, the starter wires, all the power steering stuff, all the evap stuff, all of that stuff is on this side, and we're gonna get that taken care of, as well as like the brake booster and stuff. So we'll be back when we're working on the other side. All right, folks, we got the other side, I think, buttoned up 100%. Now we can work on this side. So essentially what needs to happen over here, we have the exhaust we need to do. I'll probably save that for later, but we're gonna get this AC compressor mounted. We're gonna get the radiator hoses mounted and in place. We've got, you know, there's really not much on this side, to be honest. Like, this went pretty quick. Oh, throttle cables, cruise control cable, that stuff all needs to get mounted. So I'm gonna get on that. And honestly, I'm just gonna time lapse this side. But yeah, we're moving and grooving. This might start today, guys. All right, guys, so I pulled it out of the garage. I've got the whole bottom end completely put together except for the front sway bar, which I still need to clean. So right now, all we have to do is the front end, basically, and we should be ready to go. Oh, and we gotta do the inside. I haven't done the inside, so I need the shifter lever, the center console, all that stuff. But what I wanna do first is I want to put all this front end stuff together, and then we'll worry about the inside last, because we still got to connect the ECU harness and stuff like that. But that's where we're at right now. It's been like 8 hours for me. So I'm gonna go eat because I haven't eaten anything today. But I think we might be able to finish this tonight, if not tomorrow morning for sure.
Yeah.
All right guys, so I got pretty much all of the front end, enough to start the vehicle, good to go. I got oil in the engine, I've got oil ATF in the power steering system, and I also have ATF in the transmission, which we'll probably have to top off. But now I gotta go to the inside and put together the shifter lever and all that stuff, but let's get to work. My buddy Alvin took this apart, so I have exactly zero idea how this goes back together, or where anything is for that matter. So I know this is the shifter lever. It goes right here. And I see the shifter for the transfer case. So I think I have a pretty good idea. I think it's in low range right now, but also I'm not entirely sure what this is for. I will have to see about that. But first I need to find the bolts for this shifter lever. I'm not sure. Oh, here they are. Okay, so these might go, okay, yeah, I see. I see what is going on here now. Here's this little bolt that probably holds that wiring harness, so I'm going to assume it goes on the right side. I know you guys can't really see very well, but I kind of need to see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this probably goes here. Looks like the bolts probably went, well, not like that, maybe like this. Perhaps. These bolts essentially go like this, right? I'm not sure if these go on the top. In case you're wondering, these things go underneath the shifter. So we need to like finagle this in here. I'm going to remove this for right now. And I'm gonna try to get these underneath the bushings. Should be fine, like so. It's kind of tricky because you need to get both sides up underneath here. And then get this down in here. You can also just set it on top of the transmission perhaps. So I'm gonna try that route and see what happens. I think we've got one started. We've got one. Probably better off starting both on one side so the lever doesn't like tilt anywhere. There we go. So I've got all the bolts on the right side. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to get these bolts on the right side. Not a ton of room through this tiny hole that we've got here. Now we've got a giant shifter in the way, but I can at least drop these bolts in. I'm hoping everything is kind of lining up over here. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. This one's gonna be tricky to get in here. Let's wait on that. We got 3 out of 4 started. And this one should be fairly easy to get in, I hope. Well, to start, I don't know about get in. I need my assistant Alvin's tiny hands, dude. I think he was busy today though. Curse my huge hands right now. There we go. Look at that. 4 out of 4 started. No, I also need to put gear oil in the transfer case because I haven't done that yet. Okay, so I have my 14 now. It's on a swivel socket, so hopefully I can sneak this in here and tighten these bolts down. I do not know the torque spec for these, and honestly, I'm not going to be too concerned about it, I think. Just going to get them good and tight. I'm going to get them German torque specs. Ooh, this one's tough. I don't know if I'll be able to get this with a swivel. Got it kind of tight with the swivel. Okay, I'm going to need to go back in here with the 14. Maybe a wrench. So do not want to round this, but you can see at a pretty extreme angle right here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back in there with a wrench and fix that. Okay, so I've got a 180 pick. I couldn't find my 90. Ooh, almost dropped it. Thank you, 180 degree pick. I think you just saved my cotter pin. This is the pin I was talking about. It's on the shifter lever for the transfer case that my assistant Alvin so graciously left for me. And I think this is in the low range position right now. So we'll just go ahead and put it in neutral. Good sign that it shifted because I still had not tested that. All right, we got the cotter pin in. So it goes to low and neutral. Not exactly high, but might also be because we've got some pressure on the drivetrain, but I don't know. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. Hopefully, it's just a matter of moving, because sometimes in order to get it into gear, well, everything has to be in neutral, for one, including the transmission. It's in park, but the rear wheels are bound up from, obviously it's sitting at a slant, so that is also a consideration to make. We've got this shift boot right here, which I'm pretty confident. I don't think it goes in here yet. Doesn't look like it does. No, I think we've got more steps before then. We've got the normal shifter that needs to go in, which all these bolts need to come out, all these 10s. A lot of cut wires under here. So, full disclosure, I have a new head unit for this, so eventually I'm gonna get behind here and clean everything else up, or clean all of this stuff up, but for the time being, I'm gonna choose to not do that right now.
No.
Here we've got all of our electrical connectors, which I should wait to do until I get all these bolts in. Yeah, that bolt is broken for whatever reason. So, not the most broken bolts I've seen on a used car, but there are a few. I know this guy has got to go on before we start going crazy with the bolts. Direction, I'm not sure. Now I understand if you have, you break bolts on things because you know, they're corroded or whatever the case may be, but it's not really much to corrode on this little panel here, so I don't understand how you break bolts. I mean, probably just like going nuts on them with like an impact. I could see that. I've done it before. I mean, obviously, who hasn't, right? Especially when you're new to electronic impacts. So now we're gonna get this ratchet. We're gonna go kind of slow, not super slow, to avoid breaking any more bolts. Make sure these don't have a torque spec either. Can't seem to find that hole. Just kind of goes in there. I wonder if those threads are no longer with us. Those threads are gone. Oh well. Okay. Let's get all these connectors in place. Not super sure about this guy. It was just hanging out here. I know we've got this to put on. Still. Ah, yes, that's what that goes to for sure. So, again, I should spend the time and clean all this up, but gonna foreshadow for you guys, I will be doing this again. Believe you me, I will be underneath here again, I promise you. Yes, I don't know what all this is for. These connectors are just kind of chilling out here. They might be for maybe an option I don't have, but I'm not entirely sure. This for sure goes for this. These are for the switches, I believe. Yeah, are indeed for switches. Yeah, all of this center console stuff is going to get replaced, mostly because it's going to become functional soon. More functional. I got a little Land Cruiser parts extension for low range, or this transfer case shifter, because the other one was really tiny, and I was like, you know what, I feel like I need a bigger one. Yeah, goes into low, doesn't really go into high yet, so we're gonna leave that in neutral for right now. We've got center console. Oh. Hoping the center console did not have to go first, which it may or may not. I don't think so. It may. No problem. Take out this guy. We can just lift this back up. Here. There we go. I don't know why I'm nitpicking this console piece right now, this trim piece. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll be back. Here's to hoping all of the screws are in here, which they are not. They're in here. Good job, Alvin. Let me get this screwed in because I'm gonna have to move y'all. I'm gonna go in from that side. Let me get this sorted out and then I'll be back. All right, guys, so had to do a little troubleshooting. Little electrical issue that I had and it didn't want to start, or it didn't want to turn on. But I digress. I already primed it, so I know it cranks. I did that without you guys. So basically what priming is you pull like the fuel pump fuse or something like that, and then you just crank the engine over a bunch. That way it circulates oil through the engine. And that's just like a standard procedure to do when you start a brand new engine. So I've already done that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start the Land Cruiser, which I think I have pretty much everything out of the way. I don't have coolant in here yet, so I still need to like fill the cooling system, which I'll probably save for tomorrow. But everything is ready. I buttoned up the inside as you saw. I'm gonna let my assistant film for this, but we're gonna try to start this up and hope there's no catastrophic failures along the way, knock on wood. But yeah. Let's see if she's got enough juice in this jumper pack. I need a new battery, so I have a jump pack on the battery right now. Oh. Well, it runs. I don't know why it idled up like that on a brand new engine, so that's not cool. Maybe, I don't know, leftover brake cleaner or something? So I'm going to disconnect this throttle cable. I don't think that's the problem though. It should be fine. Okay, let me try that again. And oh, what did happen to the funnel? Oh, it just sat right here. It's for my power steering, but so it runs. It did try to start pretty aggressively though. Yeah, that should not happen. It wants to like run away on me. Yeah, I think I need to disconnect this throttle cable. I think that.
So it shouldn't start like that?
No, it should not start that high. So that's a little concerning. Just a little bit though. Let me, wonder if that might be our issue too. I don't know. This is the kickdown cable, so I don't think so. But you know what? We'll take off both. Just in case. All right, so I have no, other than cruise control, I've got no cables on here. There we go. Okay, so my throttle cable is not adjusted very well, but it is nighttime, but she runs. Purrs like a kitten. Look at that. Gotta love it. This is it. This is the culmination of all of the videos over the past couple months. It's pretty much it right here. And it started right up pretty much first try. So that's always awesome when that happens. I need to like bleed the power steering and stuff like that, but she runs and she idles absolutely perfectly, which is awesome. I need to adjust my throttle cable for sure, but there you have it. That is it. That is the culmination of all of our hard work up to this point, and it feels pretty fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie, because now essentially I have a 0-mile Land Cruiser ready to go. So yeah, no knocks, no funny noises, a little bit of smoke from the exhaust. That's pretty normal for new exhaust parts, but most importantly, I think we need to check for leaks. But I think we're good. I'm gonna shut it down just because I know I need to basically get the cooling system tied off. All right. But she runs. Yeah, so there's gonna be smoke because I cleaned off the exhaust and it's running new gaskets and I have some anti-seize on there. Number of reasons why that can be smoking. That's pretty par for the course. Nothing to be alarmed about. It looks like we have no leaks yet. I will keep monitoring that as I go along. Obviously, I haven't driven it yet. I don't even know if it moves yet, but like I said, I want to get coolant in the cooling system. I need to get this other motor mount on. I need to shut this battery booster off. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be back out here doing the finishing touches, putting the hood on. So it's not the end of the video yet, but I just wanted to see that it started. And it did. Plus we have to put our new headlights on that I got retrofitted. So we have a little bit of work to do, but it runs and should, in theory, should drive. But yeah, so snap forward till tomorrow when we can put the rest of this together. All right, guys, so as you saw, we got the Land Cruiser up and running again. And since then, I've been a little busy putting everything back together. So as you can see, I got the grill back on. The bumper is not on. You might be wondering why. You will find out why very soon, which I'm about to film right now. But so far, I've got about 250 miles on this. So I've really been driving the heck out of it around here. And so far so good. The only real problems that I have right now, which the two things I hate the most, check engine light and leaks, I have both of them. So check engine light's really simple, it's just a knock sensor. Flashback to when I said I hope I didn't have to replace those.
These are the knock sensors I was talking about. Took these off the old engine. And they went in this orientation. Front and back doesn't matter, these are both the same. But I didn't get new ones because these are quite expensive, guys. These are like I think they're like $140 or $150 each
in my previous videos. And then we also have a steering box leak that I didn't really notice until I started driving it a lot more. So I've already got the stuff for the steering box leak on order, and then that speed sensor in the back also needs to be replaced. Not the speed sensor itself, just a little sleeve. I'll show that to you guys. It's a different part than the whole sensor, and it's a little bit, it's a lot cheaper. It's only 25 bucks versus like $200+ for the whole sensor. If it's just the leak, I'll explain it later when we get to that video. I'm not gonna fix it right now. I'm not gonna fix it without y'all. So, but with that being said, mission accomplished, guys. So we've got this thing back on the road just in time for a trip that I'm gonna take you guys along with as well. We're gonna spend about a week using this rooftop tent up north. I'll divulge some details about that a little bit later. But that being said, guys, thank you for, watching this. Thank you for watching all of my videos and watching the process of this thing coming together again, which we still have more work to do. We're not done by a long shot. We got the interior to focus on. We got axles to build. We got a lot, diffs to build, electronics to install. It's time to get busy. It's time to get busy on the cool stuff now. So that being said, thanks for watching everything. If you like this video, give me a like, leave me comments below. I love seeing your guys' comments there. And share this video with your friends if they like Toyotas, or they just like working on stuff. Yeah, share it with them. All my links are in the bottom as usual. Full FSM link is usually there. And if you need anything, send me an email. Shoot me a comment on one of my videos. I'll probably see it. But with that being said, guys, thank you very much, and peace out.